So hello and welcome to Dommy Tries This. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is the Christmas cat coffee mug from my oldest daughter. On the back it says meow. And on the inside, I don't know if you're going to be able to see them, but we got two little paws. Today's tea is a tea from the Dollar Club teas that I'm trying out as a subscription. Today's tea is jasmine oolong. It is oolong green tea with mango, apple, strawberry, peach pieces, jasmine, and safflower petals. It is a beautifully chunky tea. Not much of a scent. I'm getting more of the green tea than anything. And she hasn't been steeping long, so she's going to need a little more time. So hopefully, but we're going to go ahead and give her a taste and see how she's tasting right now. I don't know how they're doing this. Somehow their green tea is having a very strange taste on the back end. As you recall, the other tea that I tried was also a green tea, and it had the same thing. I'm not getting any of the fruit flavors. Not yet, anyway. There is a slight sweetness to it, at least in the beginning, but that back end flavor is just... Anyway, as the crown will tell you, and the little title down below, we are finally doing another sample queen, and I've actually got quite a bit that's backed up. I'm going to try to get through quite a bit of it today, so we might end up being just a touch long, but I wanted to get some of this, out of the list to do. If I'm just looking a little bit like I tanned, I didn't. It's just the foundation I ended up getting was closer to my end of August. I've been walking all summer color. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glasses on and look like a freak. And well, like the crown doesn't make me look like a freak, but I'm going to look like a freak with this lovely silver here and go ahead and get started. I have my basket. It's actually quite full, so we need to go ahead and get through this. And the first thing is this Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. It has a very weird applicator as far as I'm concerned. It's got this sort of plasticky, flat thing. I don't like the applicator. I'm going to say that right now. I think I would have been much happier with this in like a pump or something. It has a nice consistency. It smooths out the skin. It feels light, but not really moisturizing. So it's somewhere along the lines of the NYX Hydro Touch or the Smashbox Primerizer. Both of those have that light, smooth consistency. The NYX Hydro Touch would be the most moisturizing. This would be the least moisturizing out of the three. I like the feel of it, like how it feels on my skin, like how my foundation works over it, but it's too damn expensive. I will not be buying a full size, even if I were buying primer, which I am no longer doing. And in fact, it seems I'm no longer having to do in general, but I've already told you guys, I'm going to be going to moisturizer once all my primers are gone, if they're ever gone. So I'm not even going to be buying my favorite, which is the NYX Hydro Touch. So the next one isn't a sample. It is something that I did purchase. I did want to try it. I am wearing it today, and that is the ColourPop BFF Volumizing Mascara. I like how this feels going on. It is smooth and creamy. It has nice pigmentation. This one's a black. I haven't tried any of the color ones. I figured I would try the black one first. I like the shape of this brush. It's kind of an hourglass shape. But I thought I would try the black before I tried any of the color ones. I'm interested in trying the color ones at this point. It layers beautifully without clumping. It takes about 3, maybe 4 layers to get my lashes to where I want them. But that doesn't bother me. I think it's got a really nice look. It does, like I said, I'm wearing it today. And I don't know if you can see it, but they are long. They're not clumpy. It's one of those that volumes, and it does give, it gives a nice length. It does volumize, but it doesn't volumize by getting so clumpy that your lashes start sticking together too much. I mean, there is some where it does look like that, but they're not. That has to do with just how much I've put on. I do like the mascara. It does not flake into my eyes, and like I said, it has a really nice volume, a really nice length. I like the way it makes my lashes look. I like the way it applies. However, all of that said, it does do smudge. I've noticed smudging under my eyes a couple of times when I've worn this. I am going to have to keep trying it out, say summer versus winter and that kind of thing. I'm suspecting if the weather gets too hot, if this makes sense, if the weather gets too hot, I get more smudging under the eyes, or if it gets too humid, I get more smudging under the eyes. It just really seems to depend. So it just may not be a summer mascara, especially if we're in Georgia. But other than that, I've enjoyed using it. I do like it. I do like the length. I do like the color. I do like the application. I've not had any reactions to it, not had any other issues, just slight smudging under the eyes upon occasion, and I really do need to start paying attention. Like I said, I was pretty sure it was, warm and humid days that I started to have those issues. I think on the cooler, drier days, I didn't. And a lot of that could be my skin. I do get issues under my eyes, more so when it's warm and humid than when it's cooler and everything's a little drier. So it could have been even just something going on with that. My eyes do get watery sometimes. It could have been that. So I'm just gonna have to watch out for it. I don't know if anybody else have had those issues, but despite that issue, I am interested in trying some of the colors. I'd like to try the blue, and I'd like to try the purple in particular. So next I'm going to go through a couple of Pixi items. One of them I have notes for, the other one I really don't. The first one is this Pixi Eye Defining Waterline. It's nice and creamy. It has a good smooth application, and honestly that's saying something for me. It is a roll-up for anybody interested. You don't have to sharpen it. And it does go on really nice. It has a nice line. It's smooth and creamy. Has great pigmentation. The problems with this one basically amount to preference for me. I don't often use a waterline pencil, first of all. The only waterline pencil I use is to clean up my waterline. I want my eyes to look bigger, and darkening that up actually makes them look smaller. So I use the Urban Decay waterline to clean up. The second thing is I'm just not really into eyeliner pencils. It's a decent pencil. I'm not slamming it. If I were into eyeliner pencils, I would think that this would be one that I would really enjoy. Out of many that I've tried, this has actually been one of the better ones. It's just not for me. The second thing that I have by Pixi is this glowy Gossamer Delicate Dew Duo. This does not work for me. I've tried to use it as a highlighter, and this stuff just, I know some people love Pixi, but this just does not show up on my skin at all. I don't know what it is about it. I thought maybe it was sealing up or something, so I used tape on it to try to clean that up, and that didn't help. And so yeah, this ended up being a total fail for me. This one will go into my Project Beauty Share. The eyeliner will probably go to my daughter because she uses eyeliners, but honestly, Pixi has been hit or miss. Pixi has been one of those brands that I've been watching, and they don't seem to be very inclusive in their shade ranges. So however, at the same time, if the toner pads work for me, I'll be saving $8 a thing. So it's one of those things where you're trying to apply your budget versus inclusion. But anyway, that all said, neither of these really work for me. This is decent. I recommend it if you like eyeliner, a pencil eyeliner. This didn't do anything for me at all, and I don't like it. So the next two I'm going to talk about are powders. The first one is the Beauty Bakerie Flour Better Not Bitter Flour Powder, setting powder. This is a fine powder, and you don't need a lot. It doesn't, unlike a lot of powders that I've noticed that tend to be on the lighter side, this one is actually If you look on that lid, it's not really white. It's kind of an off-white. So I've noticed with lighter powders, even if they say they're translucent, the Pretty Vulgar one is a light color. I'm actually using it today. I was using it to try to tone down some of this color of this foundation. Anyway, I don't know how much longer I'm going to look like a freak. But anyway, the most of those powders still do lighten up your foundation, was what I've noticed, even though if they're listed as translucent. This one does not do that. It can make certain foundations look dry. I use a facial mist. I use my Mario Badescu facial mist to help when I have that kind of issue. So that helps. The packaging is really cute. From the bag that it came in a little bag that was kind of folded over like a little flower bag or a little lunch bag kind of thing, to the actual packaging right here, to the container. It sets nicely. It has a slight blurring effect that I like. It's fast become a favorite. I've had to set it aside because we're in summer and I don't know if this one is mattifying, so I've had to set it aside for mattifying powders, but it really became a favorite and I just might purchase it again despite the price, because honestly, paying $24 for a powder is just excessive for me. But I would possibly think about it, especially if I run out of the other one that I'm going to talk about that is a favorite that looks like will no longer be available, and that is the Bad Habit Loose Setting Powder. This is one of the things that they put out, I want to say around 6 months or so before they closed down. They put this out, they came out with their own eyeshadow palette. A month or two after that eyeshadow palette, they were gone. They've apparently been folded into another brand, or at least the people that used to work there are now working for another brand. I will find that brand and list that down below. But anyway, this is another fine powder. These are colored, so this one is closer to my skin tone, and I don't have to worry about it lightening up my foundation. This one also does not say that it's mattifying, so it's another one of those winter ones. I do not wear mattifying powders in the winter because I'm already drying out, and even though my nose will still produce some oil, it produces a lot less in the winter, and I just don't, if I'm not careful and I use mattifying powders anywhere else on my face in the winter, they will look hella dry. So but this was my favorite powder, and I'm really kind of glad that I did try the Beauty Bakerie. When these two are gone, I'll probably reorder the Beauty Bakerie if I can afford it at the time. So next I have these two Rimmel Stay Matte liquid lip colors. I have the color, this one is Heartbeat, and then I have the color Plunge. These are okay. They're very thick. They're on the creamy end. But they apply very patchy to my lips. I mean, they're really thick. You're going to see this when I show you. They are, might help if I put it in the right place. But they are very, very thick. I don't know if you can see, but if you look in the brown one, you can see some places where there are like chunks in there. That's how it applies to your lips, but it also applies patchy, so some places you'll get these chunks and other places you get where it's thinned and you can see kind of your lips through it, so you have to reapply it to a point where it's not. It does mix okay, but it does get kind of goopy, so they're not a favorite. I will continue to wear these, I hope. I say that because honestly, they were part of one of my various, they've been a part of my Reverse Rouge challenge, and they're hard to reach for precisely because they're patchy and they're thick and they're goopy. They do mix well. I am wearing the Heartbeat underneath. It provided the base for the color here. I have some other on top So it's not just Heartbeat. Quite obviously, the Heartbeat is just a little too pink. I do like the applicator. I do find if you use the applicator correctly, you can get some very sharp, fine lines with it. But not a favorite, not something that I would repurchase. I do appreciate the fact that Too Much Mouth included these in my winner's box from Christmas of 2018, so last year. I do appreciate that fact, but I would not repurchase these. They're just the consistency, the application, the fact that they get goopy along the way, those things really do bother me. They do stay matte. They don't seem to dry down very drying, and I think that has to do with the thick goopiness of them, that they don't do that. So they can be comfortable. They're just mostly comfortable. It's the goopiness that's the problem. So they're okay. I'm not going to say I recommend them. There's other stuff that I like better. So now I got two CoverGirl products. They're both brow products, and I think I may have reviewed one of them. I'm not positive, but you'll have to forgive me since I can't remember. I'm reviewing it again. The first one is this CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow Sculpt and Brow Pomade. I never use, it does come with this little brow pencil thing. I never actually use that when I use this product, and for a while this was like my favorite product to use. I did like using it a lot. I'm gonna put a little extra color on there. The color works really well for me, even though it's gonna look a little faded out, I guess this would be the, but there that is right there. This is smooth and creamy. It has a nice color. It has easy application, and it's long lasting. I found the brush that they put with it is too small for me to work with, but I otherwise really enjoy it. And I highly recommend it if you're looking for a brow pomade that isn't quite so expensive as, you know, Benefit, or what's the other one that everybody likes? Anastasia. This is, and CoverGirl is cruelty free now, so go get it. It's not as expensive. It works very well. The other one is their Ultrafine Pencil. Ultrafine Brow Pencil. This one is in rich brown. It is also a roll up, so you don't have to worry about sharpening anything, which is always nice. This is a bit harder in terms of consistency, obviously, than the pomade. The color is good. Again, this, I'm wearing it today in my brows. It does apply well. It gives you a nice thin line. It has really good pigmentation. The brush is really nice and soft and doesn't have, you know, some brushes, but some of the spoolies that you get can have those really sharp points. This one does not have that, which is really nice, because I hate scratching my brows when I'm using something. But this one has become the one that I've been reaching for the most, even though I have others I'm supposed to be testing right now. One came in a box, so I'm supposed to be testing it to review for the box, right? But anyway, but yeah, I actually really enjoy this too, and do recommend this as well. It's very, the application is really good. It's not so hard. You have to press hard to get color. It's really nice. I really do like this. So last in the stuff that has the notes are these VDL primers. I received a sample of their Lumilayer Primer and a sample of, whoa, hello, and a sample of their Lumilayer Primer Fresh. Let's talk about the Fresh first. So they came with this card, and this is supposed to be ultra hydrating primer infused with sparkling pigments that leave your skin sun-kissed and flawless. 70% of the formula is dedicated to delivering moisture into skin. Combines red, white, and gold pigment that reflect varying levels of light to create a luminous canvas. So this was nice and creamy, and it left my face with a slight tackiness. I did see a bit of a glow without foundation, but I don't think it actually really did much moisturizing. I don't recall feeling any moisturizing, and I put down here, no moisturizing though. Can't remember how it made my foundations look. I'm assuming, since I don't have any notes, that the foundations looked fine on it, but pricey, not something I would buy. which is the problem for the other one as well, as being, you know, pricey. So the other one is just their Lumilayer. This one is a radiant primer that captures and reflects light to create a soft luminescent glow. Red and blue pigments emit a soft violet sheen for a lit from within radiance. Prismatic pearls add dimension to the high points of the face for a natural looking strobe effect. This is a very loose primer. This one actually felt more moisturizing than the other one, and it left a sheen on my skin without any tackiness. My foundation unpowdered retained some of that sheen. However, once I powdered it, that sheen went away. It feels nice. It seems like a decent primer, but like the other one, too pricey for me, so I wouldn't be purchasing this. The other thing is yes, you don't need a lot of primer to prime your face, but samples like these don't give you a chance to really play around with them with, you know, a bunch of different foundations. So I can only say that whichever foundations I used on it at the time, I don't recall them causing any issues with that, but I have at least 3 other foundations I could have tried these with to see if they affected the finish or the feel of those other foundations. So I can't even, because there wasn't enough of it to work with for that, I can't even say if they're foundation fussy, if how that changes. What if I put a matte primer over this? What would that do? I can't tell you because there just wasn't enough in the samples. So all I can say is they both felt okay. They both primed my face. They both left some kind of sheen or glow. One was tacky, the other one wasn't. The one that was supposed to be moisturizing really didn't feel moisturizing. The other one did, so that's all I can tell you. Also, they are expensive, and that the site, when you go to it, it is hard to deal with. So not something that's worth the fight for me. So I got 3 more items. The first one should have gone with the mascara. This is the ColourPop BFF Liquid Liner. It's another one that I actually like, but this one is a bit more problematic and I probably wouldn't purchase. When you first get it, you get a nice dark color. You saw I had to do this a couple of times. When you first get it, you get that nice dark color. The point is beautiful on this thing. I love this. It's sharp enough to give you a nice fine line, stiff enough that it's not going to smoosh down too far to make that line get fatter or uneven. So when you first get it, you get a nice dark color. But it very quickly starts being problematic. It starts being patchy. It starts seeming to dry out. I've been shaking. I don't even know where the color is in this. If you look in here, it looks almost like the color is part of the lid, but I am not positive about that. There's it's almost like a pad or something in there. You can feel it kind of bouncing on. So I don't know if the color is in here or if the color is in here. It dries out very quickly. I'm having, from my 3rd or 4th use, I started having more and more issues with the color coming out. I started to have more patchiness. I started having to fight it more. I've used it less and less because of that. I would not repurchase one of these just because, even though I like the way it's shaped, even though I like the way it does the line and all of that stuff, these things are like, what, $8? I'm not going to spend $8 on something that within 4 or 5 uses I'm going to have to start fighting to use. I don't like, it's one of the reasons why, as much as I like another brand that I have in here called Hip Dot, as much as I like the one eyeshadow palette I've got, their glitter palette isn't for me. They claim that the glitter palette doesn't need glue. I've had issues with getting the glitter to go on and stay put and look the way they make it look in their Instagram. That's honest, they have tricks, I know. But I have problems with that. I have to fight the palette to make it work, so I won't. I'm giving it to my daughter. I don't like makeup I have to fight to get to work. It needs to work for me fairly easily, especially since my makeup routine from beginning to end can be an hour if I want to do a full face like this. So it can be at least an hour, sometimes longer, depending on how much talking I'm doing at the time. But anyway, so I won't repurchase this. I am going to try to finish using this up, depending on what that means, because honestly, if you can't get color out, or it's patchy, or you have to fight it, or you have to keep reapplying it just to get a nice dark line, then when is it done? When you don't get any color at all? I'm not sure I'm gonna wait that long for this one, because it's just, honestly, I like it. I think it's, you know, it's smudge. It doesn't smudge once it's down. It's just they need to find a way to make that color more consistently available to the tip. So next I have this Sephora Colorful Gloss Balm. I believe I got this with, don't remember if I got this in the birthday thing, possibly. This is in the color of Queen of Everything. I like this. I like this particular color. Is a bit bright, but I like it. She glossy. She doesn't get sticky. I'm trying to be careful how I put this out. I want to put out enough for you guys to see. Come on. There we go. She thins out to a beautiful opaque color. She doesn't get sticky. She just shiny. I like the application method to a degree. This is easier to keep clean than, say, a dip. So that's nice. It's easier for me to keep other colors because, as you know, I do a lot of mixing. It is actually part of today's look as well. We're getting a little sticky, but I think that's the Rimmel. But I do like this. I like the color. She's nice and bright and pink and purple at the same time. I've used it on a number of things, and it is very smoothing, and it blends well, and it gives me enough shine, and it's a really, really nice. If you can get a hold of one of these, if you want one of these, I would take a look and see what they have, and consider picking one up, because I really think this is a really nice lip balm. I don't know if it has any actual you know, lip healing type properties in it, but as a gloss, it is a really nice gloss, and the color is obviously blendable. It is not going to give you dark color, so if you're going to use it to color adjust, you need to only, whatever you're adjusting should only need to be lightened or darkened just a little bit, because you're not going to get full-on color with this one. But it is a nice gloss. It does, like I said, it applies well. I like the fact that you've got the applicator tip like this. It's much easier to keep clean, so I really like this, and I do recommend it. And I think the packaging is cute too. And last but not least, we have this Satin Chrome RK by Kiss liquid eyeshadow. I've only used it a couple of times. It's okay. I don't know if it's anything I would start using on a consistent basis. The color blends a little bit. When I use this one, I use it primarily to just add a little shine. I do not use my fingers normally with these. I'm just showing you how it buffs out. I generally apply a little bit with the tip that's already in here. There's my applicator. So I usually use the tip that's already in them. I have another one I'm using, but I use that tip, and then I use one of my flat, firm brushes to, like a shader or a definer brush, to blend it out a little bit. I find my finger makes the color usually just sort of disappear. This one will probably go to my daughter just because of the color. I like it. It does give a nice shine. It's just this color is one of those that just doesn't work on my skin. As you can see, you can get shine. It's a little darker, but on my eyes, this would just not show up. So I wouldn't purchase another one. I don't mind receiving them in boxes. I will probably keep the other one that I'm currently testing out. I actually am enjoying it a little bit, but I will probably always stick with powders as a first love, so to speak. So there's that. That's our last one. What can I RK by Kiss. It's a brand that I've never heard of before. It's fine. It's smooth. It applies creamy. It's okay. Not going to become a liquid eyeshadow fan overnight, I don't think. I think I'd have to have something that's Absolutely astonishing. And I'm going to take these off now. I did the whole thing with them on. Just make it easy. But I hate those. I hate those. I hate those. Okay, so that was it for the day. And I hope you liked what you've seen. And if you are not subscribed, I hope you will subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know that when I upload. I currently upload 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Friday. Getting used to not saying and Sunday. I'm enjoying only 3 days a week. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. But in addition to those 3 days, we do get bonus videos. We get garden videos. My son opens crates. I know a lot of you are waiting for that. I'm waiting for that. If that comes out at all, it'll be at the end of the month. I just know. And we might end up with another delay. Loot crate's going down. But anyway, moving on. And I do open occasionally bonus items, you know, extra indie brands and things like that that I don't normally receive. And yeah, so we do have other things that show up on the channel as bonus videos. So you may indeed want to, you know, tap that bell. Or is it over here? No, tap that bell. Tap it over here. If you're part of my notification squad, you'll want to check your subscription and your bell to make sure they're both still active. And if you choose not to subscribe, I would understand. But to be honest, I do not look crazy all the time. I swear. Don't look orange all the time. I promise. A little weird. But this is not, yeah. Anyway. We would understand, but we would hope that you would come back because we always love having company here. And if you do come back again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Alrighty, so she has sat for about 30 minutes. It has cooled off a little bit. It's not hot, but it's not, you know, cold. So let's see what's happened with this tea. I'm looking at her with trepidation because on the previous tea, that back end flavor that I've told you about, that tastes almost like black tea, which honestly I do not like much. But that flavor got stronger as the cup cooled down and the tea got stronger. And I'm really worried it's going to do the same in this. Yeah, I'm going to give her a taste. Diving in. Wish me luck. Yeah, it got a little bit stronger. Not by much, but enough to knock out any of... In fact, I'm not getting... All right, that is strange. Okay, so we supposedly have mango, apple, strawberry, and peach in there. I'm not getting any of that. I'm not getting any of that sense of fruitiness. I'm not getting... I got a little bit of sweetness, but honestly, I think it's the sugar I put in there. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with this tea. I'm not impressed with this box. 2 out of the 4 teas they sent, I think I'm going to cancel this one. And just, no. I've got 2 more to try, and one of them's a black tea, so I'm already prepared to not like it. Yeah, I don't know. They're just not getting any of the other flavors in there. At least like with David's tea and the other teas that I get from Sips By, when they say they have apple or something in it, I get that flavor at least a little bit. I'm not getting anything like that in this. And that's the second tea that's done that. Yeah, I think we're canceling this one. I think we're canceling this box. Not impressed. Not impressed. Anyway, you all have a great day.